first. And then we're good to go.
Meeting now, everyone can.
That's not.
I know, I need.
Hi, log in.
Guys, we're gonna start the meeting now, if everyone can quiet down. Okay, so first, we're gonna call the meeting to order, so I call the meeting to order, do I hear a second?
I'll second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay,
So,
the meeting is called to order, so first we have roll call.
awesome, Adi. All right, Annie.
Here.
Ashna.
Here.
Africa. Breck.
Here.
Now, Breck.
Here.
Thank you. Corinne said they were going to be gone today. Elizabeth. Elle. Emma.
Here.
Anna mentioned they were gonna not be here today, same thing with Josh. Kai.
Here.
Oops, that is the wrong box. Try that again. Lauren.
Here.
Lindsay.
Here.
Lisa. Liv. Michael.
Here.
Neil.
Here.
Owen.
Here.
Rachel.
Here. Sorry.
Sorry, Rachel.
Sorry.
I'm here.
Samson.
Here.
Satya.
Yeah.
Glad you were able to make it today.
I had enough time.
Excellent. Sebi.
Here.
There it is. Zach
Here.
and Zoe. All right, and staff present, both Katie and I are here, and our trustee liaison is here. Go ahead.
Perfect. Cool, so now we have, I move to approve the agenda, do I hear a second?
I'll second.
Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, agenda is approved, so now we have public comment, is there any?
I have no one in public comment.
Cool, so first, next up, we have our team building for today. So we are going to, I know a lot is just happening right now, so we just wanted to take a step back, and our team building is just gonna be, you have to go around and say one thing that you had a good time with this week, or yeah, just something you are looking forward to, or something that was like a positive.
It's all like that, just, it's at the count where you all have finance and everything, that's really good.
Okay, wait, that's part of it.
Are we sharing with the group?
Yes, yeah. So I think the most, like, something that was great this week was that. Oh gosh. I got to hang out in pottery today with Breck and my friend Cameron, and that was really, really fun.
You left us to study.
Yeah, and then I left to study before that. Should I go? Yeah, okay. One good thing that happened to me is, okay, I finished 2 of my AP tests in the past 2 days, so I only have 1 AP test before I graduate.
One good thing that happened to me, let's see here. My mom just celebrated a really big birthday, and she recently had a cancer scare, and that cancer test came back negative, so she's cancer free. So
Very nice.
yeah, we weren't gonna have it.
One thing I'm looking forward to this week is hanging out with friends over the weekend, even though it's to study.
We love a good friend study session. Nice.
For me, today in chemistry, we made ice cream.
Oh, you made ice cream?
Yeah.
What flavor?
Vanilla.
Nice.
I would say I just am looking forward to hanging out with friends on the weekend.
Okay, okay.
I had a choir concert last night and that was fun.
You had a concert or you went to a concert?
I had a choir concert.
Oh, awesome.
I rebroke my own school record in the long jump.
Take your long jump record.
23-1.
Very nice.
My little walking teacher let us take a bus.
Wait, what?
Wait, what? Because it was like raining really hard, so our roller walking teacher let us take the bus back.
Oh.
So very-
I got my yearbook this week, which is kind of fun.
Nice.
Yeah.
I'm also happy, can I just say I'm happy that your books are still a thing?
Yeah.
That's like great.
Not much has happened, but I'm excited for summer.
That's valid.
Nothing really happened this week, so I took my AB bio test, that's over, which I'm really happy about.
We went on soccer game this last weekend, so
Ooh, who'd you play?
the Denver Edge,
Denver Edge.
yes,
Yay.
Okay, awesome. Blowout game?
we won 1-0.
Alright, now blow up. Well, I guess it's not considered. But heck yeah, nice.
About half my classes have just like finished, so that's nice.
Oh, very nice. Yeah,
Nothing much, just happy as ending, so.
that's fair. School's everything.
I booked the most like gold record.
Wait, you broke your school's goals record?
Like gold record, like
Oh, that's sick. Be very proud about that. Nice.
I'm looking forward to getting my exams over with.
You're what?
My exams.
Valid. I get that.
Wait, which ones are you taking?
English and language.
Oh, yeah.
I'm looking forward to getting a JOB this summer. I just had my PSA of the for this.
Nice.
Oh,
Yeah, you're, that's okay.
I'm looking forward to going trail running this weekend.
That'd be nice. I just learned that I'm doing a 2-minute rope aerial solo in the first weekend of June for a festival, so I'm excited about that. I'm also internally screaming and freaking out about it. So we're here.
I'm looking forward to, I'm taking a quick trip back to Virginia for my cousin's wedding this weekend.
Quick turnaround.
Quick.
That was great, thanks guys. Okay, so moving on, we have youth engagement in town spaces with Alex today. So yeah, take it away, Alex.
Alright, well, sounds like you guys have a lot going on right now between finals and the end of the year. How many days do you guys have left in school actually before you go to the summer?
11.
6.
11.
Yeah, 11. You're like, I'm already gone. Yeah,
Six school day, junior.
so I'm sure your minds are probably thinking a little bit more than just 2 weeks from now and what you're gonna be doing with friends and what you have going on this summer, a JOB, those things. Right? So I figured I'd come in today and kind of talk about an interesting topic in the field that I work in, which is youth engagement and town youth with like built environments, but also just having youth participation in decision making, whether that be for the arts, for parks, just different projects that are relevant to people that are young. So kind of start here.
Oh, that happened. Hold on a second. Why is it full?
Oh,
Try this again.
there we go.
Okay, there we go. We're fine.
So, yeah, that's the chili snack that I'm sure some of you guys volunteered and helped out with, or even just attended with your friends and family. That was kind of one example, just to start off in terms of being able to be involved in the town and to have some sort of result at the end and what you were able to show, as a team. So typically in, public participation, there, is this method that, is called the spectrum of public participation. And we start with inform, move on to consult, involve, collaborate, and empower. With most youth engagements that happens throughout the entire country and most of the world, next slide.
Gotcha.
We end up here at collaborate, but we not very often make it to that next step of empower. So empower in this sense, kind of differentiating from maybe this, to say like collaboration, partner with the public in each aspect of the decision making. So that was in a way what we did with the last engagement when we came here back in, what was it, November, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Alright.
back in November, and we had asked to work with you on certain things that we thought, that you thought were important throughout the town. And so we took that engagement, we consolidated the various really thoughtful responses that you guys have given and kind of created more of a general sense of where the direction that we think that you guys wanted to go in terms of engagement and what level of engagement that you want in your town. Kind of just to get started with some of the kind of examples of youth empower in the real world, whether it's in the town, in the city, in a museum. These are some, the next 4 slides are going to be some examples of youth being empowered throughout, just kind of this area. So this is the Failure Lab and Moxie from Denver Museum of Contemporary Art. Has anyone heard of Failure Lab before? No. So this is a team-run program for the Contemporary Art Museum, and it's something that students can apply to throughout high school. And they go downtown. Basically, they create events at the museum for teens to come to on the weekends. They create, this is newer, but they created a magazine that is run and led by teens. It is something that really kind of, they get to choose what goes on, they get to design the covers of the magazine. So this is something that is happening here in Denver, just kind of down the ways. And so this is one example where it's more art focused, but it's something where people have created some sort of change through design. Move on to the next one. So this is another one that I was involved in. So back to the other one quickly. I had done that one. This is my 10-year anniversary from my engagement with the Denver Museum of Contemporary Art, and I got to work with famous artists. A couple of I'll name drop right now, but Mark Mothersbaugh, you know who that is? Who is I think one of the and this is definitely not hitting this generation, but if you know who Devo is, he was the main singer of Devo. So he's also an artist, and he goes around to different museums with his moving art installations. And so we as students, basically a group this size, were able to work with a famous artist and to get work out there. So this one is another project that I had worked on in my undergrad. And it's the child-friendly city and teen city maps. And so these were engagements. I worked on the child-friendly side, and so I had to go and work with kids that were toddlers all the way up till 12 for this map right here. And even though at the end of the day I designed this map, everything that you see in the map, and all the way down to the streets, the amenities, the different bus lines, was all asked by the children, and we had to again consolidate that information and then turn it into something that we could turn back to them for them to use. So it's something designed by children for children, and then that project kicked off for the graduate program, a teen-friendly program, a teen-friendly map where they went out to engage with all of the teen or say high schools and whatnot throughout Boulder, and they were able to create this map that was kind of centered around spaces for teens that have the things that they want, and we'll get to kind of what discerns that spaces from spaces just for children and kind of spaces that includes everyone. And then the third example is also from growing up Boulder. I'm sure a lot of you have been down to the civic area space by Boulder Creek, where the band shell is, the farmers market, the library's right there. And so that whole area was destroyed in the 2013 floods. And so this is the photo you can see here, this water access. I'm sure some people have probably been here, maybe gone rafting and stuff. So that was actually a direct result of engagement with teens and children in the city. And so it actually, they asked for water access, and they had different design competitions about which type of water access would come out in the end. So this was something that really was a seed by the teens and then kind of expanded on.
And I also share my example
Yeah,
of this too.
exactly.
My previous job was over in Commerce City, and during the renovation of their recreation center, we actually had a council of teens come in to talk to town council about what does a space for teenagers look like. And that resulted in creating an entire section of the building dedicated to teens, having pool tables, video game consoles, just a place for teenagers to hang out and relax with each other. We have board games, music that you can play. There's a small creative space with some guitars and ukuleles for all to strum on. And it was also easy access up into the basketball courts as well, when you all want to play basketball or whatever. So that kind of impacts the impact that you can have when it comes to designing spaces where you can envision yourself and envision, your siblings in the future to be in, can be very impactful.
Yeah, absolutely. And so kind of just increasing in terms of the different impacts that you have around you. You have the museum and art, and then you go into design for the city, and then you actually have physical design that actually comes out into fruition in city projects. And so the next slide looks a little dense, there's a lot of words on there, you don't have to read them all. But this was something that I thought was really interesting. I went to a conference and I had talked to a bunch of different cities about what they do in terms of their engagement with youth. And I was fascinated to find out that many municipalities had youth engagement to the point where it is codified into their town code to be able to require youth on certain councils. So, not everyone has a SYLC, you can kind of see here, there's a Clark County Youth Commission, so something similar like that, where there's already an outlet for this type of engagement, but it takes it kind of another step in terms of where maybe your niche, your interests are, whether it's parks, whether it's art projects, whether it's a new development like the civic space and having a certain say in terms of what kind of programming goes into those spaces. Is it being able to looking here, the environmental sustainability, human services, art and culture. So it's different places where you can kind of be pulled from this the group that already exists and go into something that you're more interested in, but feel like you can talk to these commissioners or committees and say, I think something different. And although you may not have a voting power, you have your voice, and that could sway certain people when people might not think the same way that you do, because they have different stresses. They're 40, 50, 60, and you're probably 40 years less than a 50-year-old, 60-year-old. I'm like, how old are you guys?
Kind of stressing the importance on this when a town or a city codifies youth opinion into its town code, that's not taken lightly. Most other towns throw away your opinions, quite honestly. So when a town's really taking the intentional steps to codify it in their bylaws,
It means they care.
it means they can, exactly, so. We wanna hear from you.
So I guess this is more something to think about. It's not something you have to write down. You can obviously answer any of these out loud if you would like to, but it's just more something to get your mind thinking about. I'm sure there's been times where, you know, not being of a certain age, you might not be able to feel like you have a voice, whether it's voting or this, but to show that there are steps along the way where you can have and show your voice. And one of those, one of those things is is strength in numbers. And so one of your voices alone, maybe, you know, on one of these committees will speak volumes because it's you sticking your neck out and standing up for all of your peers, but it's also you guys standing together and being able to, you know, pick on something that you all care about. And, you know, whether it's a petition, something like that, if there's enough people that are standing behind something, it's hard for the town council or for a certain committee to kind of look away and say, this doesn't matter. So that's, and I would say as well, a unique position to be in SYLC, because it's not just your voice, it's the people that you go to school with, but it's also your little brothers and sisters, it's the people that are around you, your neighbors. So it's kind of a place that already has a sense of empowerment. And then kind of last, before we get to the some of the physical spaces, I would say there's always a perspective missed with without youth input. So simply put, youth think differently than adults do. So different stresses, you guys are dealing with finals and relationships and so many different things at this time that just a lot of people that are older just don't think about. And so their stresses maybe are money or different different things. And so that skews your mind to a different thought process when, you know, when you're thinking about that and your decision making. So I would say the main reason that we're here today is to talk about some of the physical spaces in town, but just in general that, you know, you feel that you're comfortable in. And I don't know if everyone here is familiar with the term third spaces. Have you guys talked about this as a group at all? Or is anyone, with the raise of hands, like, does anyone know what that is? Yeah?
It's okay if you don't.
It's okay if you don't, I can, you know, it's fine.
You know, another way you can put it is like, where you all hang out.
Yeah. So your first space is your home. It's where you're influenced by family, your siblings, and your home life. The second space for students right now is school. So that's, you know, where your education is, where your friends are. But that third space is really where you feel that as an individual, you are comfortable to be yourself, away from your teachers and away from your family. So these are these third spaces where you feel like you can actually be yourself. And not, you know, be a detriment to, you know, sometimes feeling like, you know, hanging out in the wrong place and being pushed out because, you know, you're not spending money or certain reasons, right? So the two examples that I have here, I had already mentioned the civics area down in Boulder. The reason I bring that up as a good example of a third space is there's multiple options to be able to study, to be able to be active, to, you know, meet up and group with friends, but also to hold different kind of events and whatnot. As well as there's like a cafe and it's exposed to other things. So you can buy something, but you don't have to. You don't feel like you have to buy something to be in a space or to sit there. You know, teens use these public spaces far more than children and adults, yet by far teens are the ones that are pushed out of these spaces because it's whether it's designed for a child, whether it's a playground, or it's something that is more what is it?
More not focused for teens, more focused for other people in different demographics,
Yeah.
whether it be for families on a splash pad or for, you know, parking taken over for athletic field spaces that kind of push.
Yeah.
A space for your greater needs.
You know, we have an emerging space here in Superior, the civic space, that is just coming online. And there's the village plaza there, and there's cafes around, and so as the area starts to build up around that downtown, it will become one of those spaces, but because it's still in that preliminary area, it's something that you potentially could have some kind of sway in the direction that some of this final development goes. So again, this is just something for you guys to think about. It's not like forcing it on you, but it's at worst, you know, you listen to it and it's, you know, that you feel that there is something more that you can do, and at best you do something about it.
Who has swung by the downtown area since it's been kind of mostly completed? Have you all swung by the civic space, which is kind of like that? This building right here, I'm gonna zoom in on. It's not officially open yet, that opens up here next week, but, not next week. Is it next week? I'll have to check my calendar, but, have any of y'all swung by this space and you see that there's like that turf area in front of it? Okay. So familiar, that's good. Next slide.
So you're getting the idea, yeah.
Yeah.
And then this one is a little more of a far out there, very high end example of what third space is. I studied abroad in Copenhagen, Denmark, and so this is probably one of the top places for design, city design in the world. And this project called Superkillen has 3 distinct parts to it, but all centered around youth engagement in terms of the actual sites. And it is quite an ethnically diverse area as for a pretty homogeneous country. And so this area was very much, I think one of the highlights of it is that there's 60 different pieces of culturally related items from 100 pieces from 60 different countries of culturally related items. And so you can see it throughout, but it was all things that were prioritized by youth in the area. Specifically speaking about the marginalized groups and teen girls. And so that's where these spaces came to light. And in it, there's options for unprogrammed programming, but at the same time, you have things like cafes and places you can buy, and you can get away from the cold. This is an area that is much more north than we are, and so they're in winter 9 months of the year. Yet you have people hanging out in the middle of these open spaces and feeling like they can be with their friends and hang out and not get pushed out. Yeah. So this is the mapping exercise that I have at the 2 corners right here. And this is really just kind of talking about places within Superior that you like, that potentially need improvement, places that you do not feel welcome, as well as places that I would like to go, but are not designed for me or my peers. And so that's just kind of something to get your mind thinking. But if there are some dots on the maps, I would say everyone, just because of like the limited amount of dots, just choose one thing per color and put it on the map. You don't have to use all of them, but if you choose something, if you know something that you really like or you really don't like, that's kind of the goal for this section. So feel free to go to the maps.
Let's split up half and half. And we'll discuss.
Yeah, okay, so from Andy to like the right side, or your guys' side goes over to this now.
Got it.
Okay, fine.
Do the colors mean anything or no?
This and so this.
Oh, okay, perfect, yes, don't do that. There's plenty of room over here, y'all. Alright, well, you man, so green. Places that you like to go, yellow, need for improvement, red, I don't want to be there, or don't feel welcome to blue. That's the sign for me, that's right here.
Yeah, there's that. Yeah, if you have any comments, you write that. Wait, green is I like it.
And you like
You know what I did, you have any comments for any? No, I'm not saying.
You are the leader of the group.
Okay, done. Yeah, it should be better. Yeah, you guys have like.
We're gonna face on this side.
If you play it, I don't think. What's a crazy thing to say?
Let's drop me off and.
Oh, wow, that was.
That was pretty bad.
Yeah, I want to start back.
Fred, please take your mouth. I don't think we'll. Go back to the.
Oh, my God. We need a save with this. I think it's bigger again. I'm sorry. Oh, yeah. All right. I'm already get my boss pass hold of it. I got drunk drive on that road, they say go whole road. Yeah, let me start with
And I beat them with my whole heart.
Don't put it on. It's like just like that. You're not gonna get out to my.
Maybe, yeah.
Wait, places I would like to go, yeah, but I want to get that. I think it's.
And this night, oh, yeah, I think they could do like time stuff. Somebody's calling
No, that's not fair.
I think maybe we get more expensive.
It was right.
Like, these guys are being on
I personally didn't want to do this.
Yeah, because like there's like a big road here, in all the stores, and like it's big, and like stable and crossroads is there.
That's
So only fact is it's like, oh, you can't.
Is it? Oh, I love it. Is this a link? But right here.
I already wrote those different for like, they must have, no, already.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Honestly, superior. You can put it on the side, so it doesn't help it. Yeah, like why you use superior. We have a golf course. We got that stuff. That one. It's by 36.
So I live downtown, but I think that that's every day. That's every now and then. We have so many, there's like every day.
I don't have any fire station.
Something.
I like this will be the, it will be that.
We do.
Wait, yeah, we have, now we have a golf course. Indian Island.
Oh, sorry. Michael, sorry. We actually.
The second one. That's not-
What's the other one?
Yeah,
that's what I'm pretty sure.
so I always think follow up.
There's enough golf course. Now, add a golf course. No, no more golf course.
Yeah, we
Everything is on.
Hey, that's awesome.
Yeah, well, they said. Yeah. Oh, Michael. Wait,
Bring it back. All good.
It's like ball.
Different place.
It's also kind of.
yeah, I do.
What if we made El Dorado into a giant chicken cake?
Wow, you're so creative.
Yeah.
Oh, Brett, you wanna make it a rec center? Well, Brett, will add a long. Finding your.
Yeah.
That's the long jump.
Alex.
One hurdle. We'll take your turn. Yeah.
Yeah, no.
That's the front door. Alright.
Oh.
Oh, the bed's over there.
You guys pass the pens around? Oh, yeah.
Make sure you grab one for yourself.
Alright, so there is probably a sheet now in front of you at your seats. There's a few questions on there, that I'm hoping to get, some of your feedback and pick your brain, on some of these questions. I am very curious to see, kind of your interest in, what youth engagement specifically related to SYLC looks like moving forward. This is something for immediate change. This is things that you're looking for to happen right away. Things that, you're looking to improve on or potentially have more say in, even as early as next session. If that is possible.
Maybe June or July or.
Yes, sorry, that's what I mean, like next year.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, that's next, season.
School year, got
School
it.
year.
That makes sense.
So that's the first question. What do you want things to look like, whether it's, next year, in more immediate future? And then the second question is, how do we increase the youth voice over the next 10 years? What incremental steps can be taken? So this is more long-term, what is gonna happen over the next 2, 5, 10 years? And this is not just thinking about, in the next, 2 to 5 years, everyone here is going to be, outside of that youth group. But that doesn't mean that your siblings or people that your neighbors, that you would wanna see something improved on for them. So you're kind of thinking more outside the box. The first one is about what you personally want to see, and the second one is more about what you wanna see for others. And then the last one, this is one that I kind of hope might be a little confusing, so it, need me to kind of take a couple steps back on it, I will. What would youth engagement do to benefit the town if it otherwise hadn't asked for it? In other words, what is the town missing out on if they don't include youth in the process? And none of these have to be full sentences, you can do some phrases, it can be a couple words. You can write a novel if you want, but anything is valid.
That's a chill music in the background.
If anyone has written anything for number 3, and wants to share, just in case it's a little, kind of confusing to think of something for that topic. Does anyone feel free to share something for their third one?
Kind of give you all an example of a town doing something that didn't include the youth in it. Commerce City wouldn't have a teen area without their input. Yes, so think about stuff like that. How a lack of a voice from your generation could have an impact on physical spaces for people in your demographic.
Basically, more or less, old people don't.
Yeah, what do we do? Yes.
We're in that category now.
Yeah, we are. we can officially say no bonus class.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm from a rare generation, it's called millennial.
Oh, you're the different areas.
I am on the cusp, I am January of '97.
Yeah.
No.
Wait, what is?
Zillennial. Yeah, the mixture of Gen Z or millennial and a cusp. Yeah.
Oh, you say.
Something like I can celebrate someone's birthday if I recall, right?
Or if I'm with birthdays, it's just. Yeah, well, that is so weird. Like I'm like, I was kind of. I said, oh my God, it's the birthday, but. Okay. Yeah, it just.
I don't want to.
Well, for the workday, it's not long, every time I jump in bus. And that way I don't walk between my place. And the bus.
Yeah, that's not bad.
But luckily, my mom, it's I end up showing up to work the same you know, it's like. I know. You don't want to be like.
That's the word. We're besties. Then you all agree. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, when you were stuck in that.
Oh, God, I didn't know the hat on the website.
Delete that.
Reach out to them, please remove this.
I don't know why I'm still on here.
It's not relevant information, I promise you.
No. Alright, we're all pretty good here.
That.
I brought for me.
One day.
Great.
That's a lot. Stop. I don't know. I just said, come back here. You were so small.
Me too.
How do you read that? You know, that's really bad. And then watch them while I'm like, I have a treasure. I like it.
Yeah.
I don't.
And none of you have said anything about it. For 3 months, this one little brown part. And then I just started like. I hate them, so I'm never going back. Well, that's whether I take notes about it. No, I'm going. Mr. I don't know about that. Yeah, actually, bro, I'm switching a major every day. Environmental science. And then switching environmental engineering. What do you mean? Actually, I didn't apply before we switched to that. So. What's the difference between environmental?
You said that civil has
One way to get out is one way to get out. So. Yeah.
Fine, I've got it. I can go
Oh, I get driving.
What day is soccer?
Okay, just to give you all a heads up, bring it in. Just to give you all a heads up, if you have any more additional feedback you wanna give, or if you have any other thoughts on this, you can reach out to Alex at Alex's email up there. Or you could just let me know, and I will also reach out to Alex as well, letting you all know. I'm sure Alex is very appreciative of this. This helps their department out quite a lot when it comes to planning, especially when it comes to creating the comprehensive plan for the town. Anything else you want to add?
I just wanna say thank you all so much for the feedback. It's much appreciated and good luck this summer with finance. Words.
Alex.
Thank you. All right, Rachel,
Okay,
we're gonna move on.
okay, cool. So thank you again, Alex, for that. That was really helpful for all of us, super beneficial when you guys come in. But we're gonna move on to talk about some upcoming events that are happening in SYLC. So first we have the kickball tournament that is, going to happen. So it's the first round of that is June 28th. And the second is gonna be July 4th, but we have some things to discuss about teams.
We definitely do, so. As of 10 o'clock this morning. We have 2 individuals signed up for the 4th of July kickball tournaments. Not teams, 2 individuals, just 2 people.
I did get the poster out, so.
Yeah, I'm not putting this on marketing or anything of the sort like that, cause I also have these flyers posted. At pretty much every pavilion in town. And pretty much every poster board I could post it on. So. This might be one of those unfortunate circumstances where 4th of July this year falls on a Friday, so people are gonna take an extended time out during that week. Where you're like, what's the point of doing a kickball tournament if I'm gonna be out of town anyway, right? Or additionally, people might be signing up for the softball league that the town is also running, so. There is. Some unfortunate things going on, and we wanted to bring it to your attention. Do you all still wanna move forward with this? Give it one more month to see if things are gonna shake out, or things, do you wanna call it good? And I'll get in contact with, our communications departments about. Any forward marketing, any extra marketing that we have for this.
I have a super quick question. So 2 years ago, or I think it was 2 or 3 years ago, the tournament was super successful.
It was.
All the thing. What was the marketing looking like for that, what made them so?
It was pretty similar to what we're trying to do right now, putting out email communications as well as I posted flyers all over town for that as well. This is kind of part of the natural cycle when it comes to stuff like this, some things said, some things flow, it's just part of programming.
Right.
Some things need to be sunset because the interest has waned from then, or new things get revamped. Yeah.
Okay, if we do wanna continue it, I know that whenever Rachel was talking about, I think it was 2 years ago when it was successful, a lot of the teams were just work groups, just coworkers.
Yeah,
And it might be a little invasive, but we could also just call local, boss A or something, and be like, does your store wanna have a team in this tournament?
Save away.
I like that, that's good.
it could, we have to be cautious with that, mostly because we're not trying to force businesses to sign up. It's definitely worth like, if you wanna go into like Buffalo Pizza and just like, hey. Put it on your radar,
Mhm.
you all helped it, or we're in this a couple years ago. We're running it again, just in case I haven't seen, thanks, the. Flyers or the communications that we have sent out, that's correct, that's okay to do. The language needs to be selective in the sense of like. Sign up, right? No, we're not here to coerce people into signing up for something that they don't wanna sign up for, right?
Right.
Do you all wanna create like a little work squad to be able to get the word out to local businesses? Or,
Yeah, I think kind of adding on to what Mike said, we could do something. I guess this is kind of what you were just saying, but like, we could, yeah, give them a flyer and be like, hey, we know you were part of this couple years ago. Can you show this to anybody who might be interested, or like, if you would be wanting to make your own team, so we could make it like seem more extended beyond just the business.
okay,
If that makes sense. But yeah, I think a work group would be a good idea for that, and then we could just have a day where we all go and just hand out.
okay, yeah, we can do that. Pretty much flyers going, what's up?
Do you have like a contact list for like teams that have participated in the past? And can you like send it specifically to them and be like,
Again, I do have that list, and I know some of those people on that list are signed up for other weeks.
okay,
Yes. But I can try reaching back out to the few who haven't responded and see where they're at.
I also think, does anyone know, wait, what day is National Trails Day?
National Trails Day is the.
Is it
I'm
20?
so blanking, no, it's not the 22nd. It is. Oh, crikey. Sorry, give me a sec here.
June 7th.
Thank you, June 7th, that's Saturday,
Okay, yeah, we could also,
promote it there.
yeah, promote it there a lot, like try to make it very, very, like a lot of flyers and stuff and explain to people what it is, so.
Okay,
And then if it's still failing by June 7th, then maybe we, like at that, is that, so that's after our.
that's after our
meeting
June meeting. Yeah.
Well, if we do have a work group going on, then we can just reassess and see whether or not it can be a successful.
Yeah, and we can, when we discussed in the June meeting, if we had teams sign up then, maybe one final push and then a final. Decision,
yeah.
cut off it about like making a decision, and that decision could be made in like a, in our group chat. And so we create like a, what's the word I'm looking for? Oops, a work session, we would come in, make a decision then.
Yeah, I like that idea, it's good. Should we get a work group together right now?
Is there a certain number of teams that you need to make, because if you only have one team,
yeah.
Yeah, only one team really doesn't really do anything. Two teams, it's like an automatic, hey, congratulations, you made it to the finals, right?
5 or 4.
Well, see, 5 would be great. 6 would be great, right? Absolute minimum would be 2, and that would be playing on 4th of July, basically. Ideally. 4, so we can, if we wanna do an actual like preliminary playoff game for everybody. But 2 would be the minimum.
Okay,
So should we make a work group then for the marketing?
That's your decision.
Yeah, Greg, do you want to be in charge of that work group since you're in charge of marketing? Seems like you are doing it.
Yeah, sure. Should I make it now?
Well, no, let's just enter it.
let's just get it out of people. Anyone who's interested in being a part of the work group for marketing, can you guys raise your hand?
So is this gonna look like flyer distribution kind of thing, like we're talking to
Yeah.
local businesses?
Yeah, so it would look like talking to local businesses and then possibly having like a reassessment meeting after our June meeting to see whether or not, or even before our June meeting to see whether or not this is successful.
I have a quick question, Jeremy.
Yeah, what's up?
You know, how, like, for the movie night, you guys put out like those posters, like you just stuck them in the ground around town and
Are you
everything.
talking about the Rock Creek movie night that happens out on the
We can float.
Yeah, and then you know how you put out like those signs, you're just like stick it, yeah, the yard
Yeah.
signs. One thing we could do is we could put it, cause it's like bigger, so people kind of see it more than like flyers stuck to a wall. We could like put it in areas where we know families or groups go, like by the pickleball courts or the dog park or by the dog park. So people really see it, and then it's kind of targeting areas for people, for targeting groups that we know will go, oh, I wanna do that, or more active groups or more. Areas where we know groups will be going rather than singular individuals.
So we can do something like that, those signs. We wouldn't need to use your budget to kind of create those signs. If that is an interest that you're all thinking about, and I will say those signs. Are not typically the cheapest, unfortunately.
They're not terrible.
They're like $5 to $8 a sign, depending on number of colors.
Yeah, depending on how extensive you wanted to get that, to get. Yeah,
I was just gonna say, probably reach out to the Superior Chamber of Commerce, that'd be a really easy way to connect with a lot of businesses.
that's fair.
With an email, quick email, that way it's not like a lot of pressure, if you just send like one of the flyers to.
It's a good idea.
Does anyone want to take charge of contacting Chamber of Commerce or?
I
is
can
that-
do that, cause I know
You're
Leslie,
like,
yeah, I can contact Leslie and then let you guys know.
I can send you the sign up information then.
That's perfect, thank you.
Okay. So one last push to get signups. Discuss again in Zoom meeting, is that what I'm
Yes.
gathering? Greg, do you want me to print off a bunch of those flyers for all the distributed and local businesses then?
Yeah, sure.
Alright, I will have those printed off by the end of the week, you can come pick them up at the community center whenever,
Just like text me when they're ready.
yeah.
And then we'll text in the group chat with further information for anyone that joined that group.
Mhm.
Okay, is there anything else that you need to do before?
Nope.
Okay, cool. So next thing that we have is senior send off is coming up really soon. And we have a couple like things that we need to discuss for that, so first, are there any requests for where we should do senior send off?
For those who are not familiar
Yeah.
with it, what is it?
Oh yeah, for those who are not familiar with senior send off, basically, we do it in August, right? And it's just a way to send off the seniors and like it's kind of their like last thing and we all get to like hang out. We've done things in the past, like our last year's one was at Boondocks, I believe. We've also done like bowling in the past and it's just a really fun way for everyone to hang out and say bye to the seniors and celebrate them, so.
I think in previous years as well, it's used as an opportunity to generate new interest into the council. So people would bring their friends to come celebrate as well, so they get, exposed to the council in case they want to apply for a seat as well. Last year we did Boondocks. Do y'all have any places you're all itching to go for your senior send off this year? Anything fun?
Any thoughts?
In the past, we've done like Chippers Lake.
Yeah,
Sometimes we like, it depends on the place, but we'll do like dinner attached to it. Any thoughts? I don't know, yeah, I don't know how expensive that is.
Topgolf can be pretty expensive. Additionally, getting there might be the logistical problem.
Yeah, like that's right,
You can go late.
oh, yeah.
What's that?
It's a top off, the later you go, the more expensive it gets.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Well, Sunday, it's like
I think like half price of these days. Yeah, if we're doing it in summer, it's like, we have like half price.
What was that?
If we did it on a Tuesday.
I still think it would not.
I mean, that's true,
We
it's,
put it down as an idea, but.
yeah.
I'll write it down. I'll look into it.
Does anyone have any other ideas for like do senior center?
No, because.
Does anyone like have interest in like, in the past, we did chip burgers, Boondocks, does anyone have interest in like doing one of those again? Okay.
Alright, I do have a question for everyone who is interested in doing this. The reason why we kind of kept it close for most years is because of transportation side of things. I don't know what it's looking like this year for y'all, but if transportation is not going to be an issue, that kind of expands our horizon. I know a couple of cool places that does like indoor archery tag or athletic, like indoor trampoline parks, stuff like that.
We do a trampoline park,
Wait, I really
that actually sounds kind of fun.
Just say
I feel like generally people like talking about it, because what's the difference between them going to Greenfield and going a little farther?
Yeah. And we can also set up carpools.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's one like on 36, right, like in Westminster?
Yeah,
First, I remember this thing.
yes, there is, I think there is one that's right. So if we plan this far enough in advance,
Not one.
let's say over the next couple meetings here. And if you all coordinate the logistics about getting carpools for all those who are interested in doing something in a further out location. I can send you a list of fun locations for you all,
Okay.
as long as you send in the logistics of how you can carpool there and whatnot. How's
I
that
mean, I
sound?
think carpooling would be super easy.
Yeah, I
Because
don't
all of
think
us,
that's.
almost everyone here can drive and then anyone who can't, we can carpool, so yeah, that should be pretty easy to figure out.
Oh, okay, I will write that down. in the-
Does anyone like foresee themselves like having issues trying to get to like, let's say Denver or Brookfield? And keep in mind that like you will be able to like get in a car, but like, yeah, will anyone know that they will need assistance? With the drive? Yeah, maybe right, they still probably need.
Alright,
So do you
So-
need assistance? Okay.
I will create a list of fun activities outside, I'll send it in the group chat that we all have, try to put it on your radar, and we'll discuss again in June meeting. Okay. Okay,
Okay, thank you. Oh yeah, and then the other thing that we have to start thinking about is also, so the seniors, we have 3 seniors on the like executive board right now. So there are gonna be 3 positions that are, there are gonna be positions that are open for people to be replacing. So that is not something that's super immediate right now, but just start thinking about that. Do you wanna explain the roles?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, so the one thing is like me, Greg and Josh, we're all, y'all have executive roles, and since we will be graduating, our roles will go up for reelection probably like August or September meeting. But by then we won't be there to like talk to you about them. But if anyone is interested in one of our roles, definitely come talk to us about like what we do and like just to see if you'd be interested and like what it looks like, and yeah, like what the time commitments are like. But yeah, so I'm vice chair of like events and community service. So that means I like oversee a lot of the like work groups, and then also just like volunteers and like volunteer roles. And like, just like the events that we have, which are like, Monster Mash and Parents Night Out and all those great things.
Yeah, so I'm the vice chair of communications, and I'm basically like, I do like all the marketing, so like the flyers and stuff, and all like the running the social medias and content people to like try and get those out. And yeah.
Yeah, and then Josh isn't here now, but, as I'm sure a lot of you guys know, he's secretary, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, so he's the secretary, so he takes notes throughout all of our meetings, so yeah. Go talk to any of them if you're interested, and they'll give you a big rundown of that.
Also run for chair against Rachel.
Yep.
That's
Yeah,
also,
it's,
open. Yes, that's also open if you wanna come talk to me about that. Okay. Yeah, thank you, Washington, for reminding me of that, that was really, of course. No, okay, and then the next thing that we have, that's super fun, is we have Metro Mayor Day coming up, which is in August. And for those of you who don't know or haven't been here, basically Metro Mayors, like, all of the mayors come together and they have this meeting in Denver. And it's this like pretty, I guess, like informative meeting about what they do and kind of the processes in which they go through. And we get to sit in, like SYLC is the only like youth committee that gets to sit in and watch them and kind of see how they go through their orders and how all of them interact and whatnot. And it's really interesting and it's a great way to network as well. And with that, we also get we get to wake up early and then go to Denver and then we get lunch afterwards and everyone just gets to hang out. And you get to dress formally, which is pretty fun. But that is coming up as well, so.
and we also typically couple this with a tour opportunity.
Oh, yeah, so we were going to talk about our. Now?
No, I
Maybe
mean,
later.
I just more so wanted to know if that's something y'all still wanna do, and if so, I will start chatting with our mayor about getting that scheduled out. And specifically what y'all wanna be touring, we've done the judicial building in the past, we've done town hall in the past. We keep trying to do the mints, but the mints doesn't allow tours until September. I'm gonna try to talk to him this year to make an exception here, so. I just wanna know if you all wanna be doing that again this year.
Does anyone feel very passionate about this? Yes, we maybe just get a show of hands of people who like would be interested in going if we're able to start stuff.
Okay,
Okay.
I will start talks with our mayor about that.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
So next up, we have National Trails Day, which is coming up. And this is June 7th, as we were just talking about. So we do have we're planning to volunteer for that. And in the past, we had a couple different things. So 2 years ago, we had our own booth and we got to like give out sparkling water to people. And then the past year, we just kind of helped out. They forgot our booth, I think. So we helped out with this like turtle guy. And that was fun. And yeah, so I guess what would it look like this year and what?
So this year you'll have a booth, so you'll need some volunteers for the booth.
Okay.
And if you all wanna be giving away anything at the booth, let me know, I need to get this ordered pretty much immediately. We can also print out additional flyers for your kickball tournaments for the booth. We also need a couple volunteers to help out as floaters and parking attendants for the event, so floating around the event, helping people with parking if they need it. Otherwise, helping vendors out with animal control, animal wrangling rather. Maybe hold a turtle here or there. We need a couple volunteers for that. And you'll also need a couple of volunteers to help count people. You know those little baseball clickers? Yeah, if you'll get a couple of those and you'll count people around the events. But typically volunteers are gonna be there from 8 AM to about 1 PM. Booth will be about 9 to 1, basically. Yeah, I can't recall, we had a list of volunteers.
Yeah, we
last
did,
time,
I'm
right?
trying to get that pulled up because I just don't know if I was the one who had it. So I'm just give me 1 second, I didn't find that.
I think I also have those.
And then as you're pulling that up, for the actual booth volunteering, I guess, are we just gonna have kind of like maybe a spinner or something and give out, like, I don't know. Are we just gonna kind of give out stuff to people, or is it more informative on what SYLC is?
A little bit of both, you can make it to what you want it to be. It is kind of beneficial to inform people what SYLC is when you're all going to start bringing in new people to the committee or council rather. What fun events you all do, kind of put out the word for your council would be very beneficial. And if you have swag to go with it, even better.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I don't know the percentage of the April note, so I don't have that one.
I have it up on the TV here.
Oh, yeah, then we have that split up into like the table and. With us.
No, there's
Oh, we do have this. Wait, Jeremy, can you put that as the highlighting right this?
Yeah, it's like really hard to read.
Oh, yeah,
Okay, yeah, so just running people is Brock, Ashna, Rachel, and Corinne, and then animals is also Corinne. Annie, Lisa, Avica, Elle, maybe Seti, and general oversight, Elle, maybe.
Yeah, so this was definitely like, this was last month, I know a lot of people were like, I'm interested, but that's solidified. This, we should do a solidified.
By this.
Oh.
Oh, and then Zach is moving to the furniture.
Oh, that already happened.
Okay, so I guess, should we make this, can anybody else who wasn't here before, raise your hand if you weren't here, but you do wanna volunteer on this day?
Oh.
If you're not on the list already. Oh, okay.
Do you have a preference on what you wanna volunteer for?
Also, can you take it?
No,
Yep.
I need to know.
When Upton creates the volunteer list and creates a group, we can.
What? Oh.
Because these are official notes, these have been posted and I did it.
Okay, so then can we just solidify this as being volunteers?
We can in this agenda, sure, yeah.
Okay, I would, yeah.
You want that up there, Upton?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, great. Is there anything, I guess, else that we have? I mean, as long as you can just make flyers, or do we have current flyers for what SYLC is? Like, okay,
Yeah.
then we can just print out some of those and then.
Yep.
Yeah, swag as well.
Okay, and just keep all the flyers.
And yeah,
Yeah.
If you remind me, I can send you those also.
I still got those up.
Oh, you- okay.
I appreciate it.
okay, great. Okay. Okay, cool. So now moving on, for 4th of July volunteering, do we have a current list for the volunteers as well?
No, not right now, I just, more so for Michaela's interest, do you all wanna volunteer for it, and do you all wanna booth it there? That's really the big focus.
I feel like it just depends on whether or not we go through with kickball, because if we don't have kickball, we would like want our volunteers to be helping run that. But if we don't, we probably have like free, we probably have free.
So then maybe the more pressing question would be, do you all wanna booth there?
I remember last year, or the year before, we had a booth and it was really not a big hit. We had like one person every like 10 minutes come up to us, not even care about what we had to say and just like walk away. So.
Yeah, I think we talked about this at a previous meeting where like, it's probably not best to market it as like why you should apply to join SYLC. Because we're not gonna find that many people there who are like high schoolers who are coming up to your booth. The one thing that we could market if we decide to have a booth could be like our events. And you could be like, oh, this is coming up, this is like, we do Monster Mash in October, so look out for that, and we do Parents Night Out in February.
I thought it would be pretty good.
But it just like depends if we think that that's a thing that people would want to do.
So. Do you think this will be a valuable opportunity to talk about the things that you do bring to the town? Cause that's probably the most effective way your council's name gets out to the public. Is by- That's a, and have candy.
All we can.
So.
Okay, I don't know, I know I won't be there, but does anyone like, who will be there, able to volunteer? I can volunteer.
I think I can, but I'm not sure. If I'm in town, I will be able to, but I don't know.
Okay,
Okay.
the old one, booth, I guess that's the biggest thing.
I think if we have the ability to just kind of float around and be volunteers like that. As Austin said, it depends on whether or not we do the kickball tournament, because that would take a lot of people, but. If we don't do the kickball tournament, I still think people just floating around, helping out with like trash or other things that Michaela might have for us would be good best, because
Okay.
as Greg said, it wasn't super successful.
Okay, I can talk to Michaela about that then.
Okay, wait, can I get a show of hands for people who will be able to volunteer on the 4th of July? Put down.
I thought Chloe was in kickball.
And those volunteers, if we do have kickball, you guys are probably helping out with that, but Greg, we yes or
I don't know.
no? Okay, yes.
I was like a maybe. If I'm like in town, I can,
Okay,
but I don't know.
I'll
if
put you down as a maybe. If you're. Yeah, so then if the kickball is not happening, those volunteers will just be helping out with the general event. Maybe you'll be doing green team volunteer, so that's always fun.
Yes.
We move in next week.
Okay, cool. I guess we can move on from 4th of July volunteering. Now we have some staff updates.
So. I don't know if y'all are frothers at all, disc golfers. Frisbee golf rather, but the new or renovated L3 disc golf course is now operational. That's up and running, baskets have been installed. There's a couple more baskets to be installed, but if you all are into Frisbee golf, go play it. That is up and running now, and we will be running some regular programming on that course as well. Whether that be local tournaments or just play-alongs with a couple of the local Frisbee golf clubs that are here. That is project that's been 3 years in the works, so now it's finally done, which is great. Additionally, we'll need to talk about our July 2nd meetings. July 2nd is a Wednesday. Traditionally, in the past, you all haven't had a July meeting because it was usually the next day of 4th of July. Which made sense. This time around, there's a day buffer between your meeting and the 4th of July. This meeting could potentially get you all ahead of the game when it comes to Monster Mash planning, so it doesn't feel like a giant rush to the end come October and September to get it done. So, we as town staff want to know if you are still interested in running a July 2nd meeting, and that will need a vote. If you all want to be doing that.
Would the seniors be let go by then?
No, seniors, your terms technically end August. So you'll still be here.
I feel like it would be hard, because I wanna say
I
like in
agree.
summer, I think a lot of people are just doing different things. And we will be seeing each other for 4th of July, for the people who are in town. Does anyone have thoughts about that before I put it to a vote?
So, okay, so those in favor of holding, or those not in favor of holding a July 4th 2nd meeting, for the month of July.
Okay, so no July meeting.
No July meeting.
Okay, and yes, July meeting, raise your hand.
Okay.
Actually, I agree as well, but because it's Sebby's birthday, so. But that's.
I won't be here.
Oh.
Last update for y'all, or at least come from my end of things. The new civic space will be opening June 18th. There will be a ribbon cutting for the new space. Michaela is reaching out to the council to see if any of y'all would be interested in helping run some coloring corners and yard games for the event itself. It's gonna be pretty big. There'll be plenty of vendors out there, but she is looking for volunteers from the council to help kind of promote the space. We wanna know if you're interested in that.
Yeah, I guess, can we just get a list of people? Anyone who would be interested in volunteering June 18th from 5 PM to 8 PM, to help Michaela with the civic space opening, can you raise your hand?
Kind of give you all an idea, that is a Wednesday.
Very cool.
Okay, that's all updates from me. Did you have anything?
I really don't. Yeah.
Okay.
Now for council updates.
Thank you. I just want to thank everybody here, your parents that responded to the survey on about what we want to do with the north and south pools. We got several hundred responses, which is fantastic. And on Monday's meeting, we're actually going to be hearing from the consultants on all the things that we heard from the public. So if you're interested in hearing about all the ideas that were submitted, please tune in. Last month, you may have heard that the town filed a lawsuit against the Rocky Mountain Airport last year, and early last month, the judge basically ruled against the town of Superior in favor of Jefferson County. And last Monday, the board or the council decided to appeal that decision because we think it's not the right decision. We think there's a better decision that the judge can make. And so we're working with our attorney to get that appeal filed, and then we'll go back to trial with the court, which will take another 12 to 18 months to get resolved. So there's a lot of people that are really impacted by the noise of the airplanes, and so the council is really trying to step up to make sure we're doing everything we can to reduce that noise. And then Gary talked about civic space opening June 19th, so that was it for me.
Nice.
Okay, cool. Thank you. So I guess there's nothing else for us to do tonight, so I move to adjourn the meeting. Do I hear a second?
I'll second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
So adjourned.